Nora is the main character in the play. She is the wife of Torvald Helmer. Nora initially seems like a playful, naive child who lacks knowledge of the world outside her home. She does have some worldly experience, however, she commits small acts of rebellion that prove that she is not as happy or innocent as she appears. These acts include eating macaroons. Torvald Helmer is Nora's husband. He enjoys his position as an authoritative figure in their family life. He is overly concerned with his place and status in society, and he allows his emotions to be swayed heavily by the prospects of society's respect and fear. He does not view Nora as an equal, but rather as a plaything or a doll that's to be teased at or admired. Krogstad is a lawyer who went to school with Torvald and holds a subordinate position at Torvald's bank. Krogstad's character is contradictory in many ways. Though his bad deeds seem to stem from a desire to protect his children from scorn, he is perfectly willing to use unethical tactics to achieve his goals. He willingly allows Nora to suffer, which is despicable, but claims to feel sympathy for her in the hard circumstances of her own life. Christine Lindy is Nora's childhood friend. Her sensible worldview highlights Nora's somewhat childlike outlook on life. Mrs. Lindy's account of her own life of poverty underscores the privileged nature of the life that Nora leads. Dr. Rank is Torvald's best friend. Dr. Rank stands out as the one character in the play who is unconcerned with what others think of him. He is noted for his stoic appearance of his fate. Unlike Torvald and Nora, Dr. Rank admits to the diseased nature of his life. For the most part, he avoids talking to Torvald about his imminent death out of respect for Torvald's distaste for ugliness.
Once upon a time, a little songbird Nora came in from the winter cold bearing Christmas gifts. She snuck delicious macaroons into her mouth, unbeknownst to her strict husband Torvald. They swooned over the idea of Christmas, and when Torvald asked Nora what she wanted as a gift, she replied, with money. Torvald called her wasteful, but with appropriate begging, Nora gets her wish. Christine appears to visit Nora. It has been 10 long years since they have seen each other, but they are still great friends. Christine talks about her hard life in which she lost her husband and had to work many hours to support herself. Nora is awestruck by Christine's ability. She is going to help Christine get work at the bank by asking Torvald. Christine thinks Nora to be a child who has not known hard work, to which Nora defends herself by sharing a secret. She is taking out a loan in an effort to save her husband from death and sickness. She lied to him by taking out the money herself for their vacation. She has since been working side jobs to pay off the loan. Krogstad shares a small glance with Christine as he enters the house. It is apparent that no one likes Krogstad. Before leaving, he pulls Nora aside for a chat. It is revealed that Krogstad feels his job at the bank is in jeopardy with Christine looking for work. He blackmails Nora with the fact that she forged signature on her loan. She was not aware that this is a serious offense and sees her motives as honorable and pure. Yet Krogstad has proved frightening in his threat to share her secret with Torvald.
Torvald sees the wicked man departing and asks of his intentions. He scolds Nora for speaking with him and asks if he tried to persuade her to help him keep his job. Nora tries desperately to change the subject. She asks Torvald to help her find a costume for the upcoming party. However, Torvald continues to speak of Krogstad as a bad and dishonorable man who is a liar that committed forgery. Nora is alarmed at the developing horror. Little does Torvald know that his wife has committed the same act, forging her father's signature.
Nora and Dr. Rank sit together and chat. Nora flirts with Dr. Rank in preparation to ask him for a favor. Before she can ask for his help, Dr. Rank professes his love for her. Nora is offset and no longer wishes for his help. She explains she loves Dr. Rank for his great friendship, but not for affections. Dr. Rank does, however, decide to stay for the sake of the company. Their conversation is interrupted by Krogstad, who has recently been fired. He begs Nora to have Torvald move him up in the bank, but Nora refuses due to the fact that Torvald should never find out about the contract she made with the bank. Krogstad leaves, dropping a letter containing Nora's secret in the mailbox on the way out. Torvald then enters, and Nora repeatedly dances the tarantella to prevent him from reading the mail.
After the party, Torvald goes to the mailbox and sees that someone has been tampering with the lock. He then reaches inside and finds 2 of Dr. Ring's calling cards with black crosses on them. Nora explains to Torvald that Dr. Rinks has gone away to die. Torvald then goes to his office to read the other letters. However, Torvald angrily rushes in, screaming at Nora. It is apparent that Torvald has read the letters from Krogstad. Nora confesses everything to Torvald and claims that Krogstad's letter is true. Torvald calls her a liar and a hypocrite. He yells at her and tells her she is the reason for his sadness in his life and that she has brought him no happiness. Nora remains in a state of shock, realizing the truth behind her marriage. She discovers that Torvald is a complete stranger to her. The maid enters the room with a second letter from Krogstad. Torvald rips open the letter and reads that Krogstad has revoked everything in his last letter. Krogstad has rekindled his love with Mrs. Lindy. The note in which Nora forged her father's signature is also included, and Torvald rips it up. After reading this letter, Torvald acts as if nothing has happened. He tells Nora that they must forget everything that has happened. He tells her he was angry out of love. Nora then tells Torvald that she was never loved for herself, but for the role she played, essentially a doll. She never understood the meaning behind their marriage until now. Nora claims that she must leave, and Torvald forbids her. Nora exclaims that she must leave and educate herself about everything that she has missed out on all her life. Nora believes she must leave, as well as never see her children again. She can no longer live with Torvald as his wife. He is and will always be a stranger to her.
A Doll's House has multiple themes. One of the themes is the unreliability of appearances. Torvald and Nora's marriage seems perfect, but in reality they are not in love and do not even know each other. Nora is a character presented as childish, as she pretends to flip around and be a squirrel. But in reality she is an intelligent, independent woman, which is shown when she chooses to leave her marriage. When Torvald finds out about Nora's crime with forgery, he says he will keep up the marriage merely for appearances. This shows the importance of appearances within the play, as Torvald feels he cannot present himself in his workplace as a man without a dignified and respectable life. Money is also a very prominent part of the play. Nora is always asking for money for presents and gifts, and it is also one of the leading causes of her having forgeries. One of the things that money also supports are gender roles of the time period. Torvald is the money maker, and women are not seen as being able to be self-supportive. When Christine comes and says that without a husband she has to work multiple jobs to simply support herself, Nora is surprised and can never imagine herself living that life. It is clear by this play, in this time period, it was the man's job to earn the wages and do hard work, and the woman's job to look pretty and spend the money. Animals also are a recurring theme and symbol in this play. Multiple animal names and pet names are used for Nora, and she also pretends and goes along with these animals. What this works as is being a demeaning process for Nora. It shows that this is also a realist work, by having their marriage be unequal. This also begs the question if this is a realist work or a feminist work. Many people argue that it is a feminist work because Nora makes the bold move of leaving her marriage. It is such a bold move that many people found this play to be utterly inappropriate. Yet, the author is not known as to be a supporter of women's rights. The play is meant to be a realist play, to just show that women were in reality leaving their marriage.
There are 2 meanings of the phrase miracles of miracles in A Doll's House. This phrase might also be one of the most important lines in the play as well. When Nora states miracle of miracles, she meant that there would need to be a miracle of miracles to restore Nora and Torvald's marriage. Nora means that Torvald would need to completely change his attitude towards Nora. marriage and how he treats her in order for her to stay. He would need to respect her and her opinion rather than just treat her like a doll. He would need to make her matter. Torvald meant it was a miracle of miracles when Nora had the courage to finally leave him. He did not think that Nora had the ability and or strength to leave him and live on her own. She proved him wrong.